Hello, I am here for our coffee talk and tarot. We're going to do a collective read and we're just going to dive in to the next 72 hours, see what the energy is, what's coming our way. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the comments. And I see that the notification just went out that I am live. Okay, so I'm going to give just a couple of moments here and we'll have some fun with this, okay? Hello, I see somebody's in the room. Welcome, good to see you. We're gonna do a little read here for the collective, just next 72 hours, see what's in store. I do have this set as a subscribers only live chat, okay? So you only need to have been a subscriber for 5 minutes, but this is like a community appreciation event that I do, so that's why I have it set up that way. Not all my lives are set up as subscribers only, just the coffee talk and tarots. So I'm trying to decide what deck I want to open with just to get a general sort of read on the energy in play over these next 72 hours. Maybe I'll start with a few different oracle cards. Let's go ahead and do this deck here. That's a combination of the Sacred Rebels Oracle as well as the Halloween Oracle. Okay, this is a message that's been coming through: forgiveness, reducing the burden. I know that is a little bit of what's been coming in with that 711 angel number. 711 is an energy about really reducing the burden, letting go of what you're carrying, releasing, experiencing forgiveness. And for some people, forgiveness looks just like letting go, you know, not needing to sort of be in that grudge sort of energy. Okay, so we are Mercury retrograde as of the 15th. We're in pre-shadow right now. We're also in Venus retrograde, Aries and Pisces. So there's going to be a lot of stuff kind of coming up for review, and especially in relation to stuff that's close to our hearts. And so some of you may be dealing with this. You may be working through healing processes. You may be letting go of things that have been weighing heavily on you, holding you back in some respect. So I just want to get sort of a general read on the energy here, just to open up and begin with. Hey, Vicki, good to see you. Always wonderful to have you show up. I'm just getting started here. We're just doing a real general for everybody, for the collective as a whole, during the next 72 hours. I just saw the cardinal energy flash there to me. So there may be some kind of special talent you have awakening over the next 72 hours. Maybe somebody points something out to you. Somebody lets you know something they see in you that perhaps you never saw in yourself. This might make you think of ways that other people have sort of squelched your gifts, squelched your talents, or have some way, shape, or form made you feel a sense of insecurity around sharing something that you do have to offer here. So it might be reducing that burden, the weight of judgments that have been put on you, and sort of, forgive those people, for they don't know what they do. Not really. A lot of times people don't realize the way that they can impact other people with the weight of their words or their actions. So there's a lot of this tone coming in. We have forgiveness as the basis of the matter. And really, I have a lot of feelings about forgiveness. I've talked about this many times. I mean, sometimes people go through things that cause a lot of suffering at the hands of others. And I mean, you can say, I forgive you, and have that exchange. That's not always possible for people, though. Sometimes you're not in communication with somebody. Sometimes the person that put you in that spot, they've passed on. There's no way to even have some kind of closure in the present. So sometimes forgiveness is just as easy as choosing to not suffer as a result of it anymore. I'm not going to hold space for this anymore. I'm not going to allow this to weigh me down and affect the way I move forward in my life. I'm not going to allow it to shut down my heart and prevent me. Hey, good to see you, Miss Jenna. I'm not going to let it prevent me from opening up to new experiences. Okay. So there's tones of forgiveness coming in for the collective over the next 72 hours and just letting go of judgments and projections and stuff that has weighed us down. And also the recognition of some special gifts you have. Perhaps a hidden gift that you weren't aware of is going to come to the surface. And maybe there's somebody that's pointing it out to you. You might be getting some affirmation coming in where you dealt with judgment in one quarter. You may be having somebody come in that's saying, hey, I see something special in you. I see that you have this talent, and you might be receiving some kind of encouragement too. So I like this. This may help you let go of those old judgments and just be free of that, because really, truly, I do believe that sometimes forgiveness is just as simple as letting it be, just let it be, let it go. And looks different to everybody. Yes, yes, yes. And for that piece that came in for some of you, this may be around somebody that already passed on. Maybe you never got a chance to have that closure with a particular loved one where you had a really difficult relationship. But this is showing that, you can always tap the roots and you can always feel that connection, of your ancestors, the bloodline. And there may be something about, just making peace with that as well, understanding that love merely transforms. It never dies. It just takes on a different form, an energetic form. So it can be very powerful to create space around that if you are working through some heavy healing process. And maybe there is a need for release. Maybe there is a need for letting go and forgiveness, but it's really difficult to do because the person's no longer with us. And if that's the case, you can create some kind of container around that experience by creating a personal ritual that allows you to sort of bury it once and for all. You might even want to earth something to symbolize just really letting go of that energy and allowing it to be transformed. And you may not understand, especially in relation to family matters where it's relating to somebody who's already passed on. You may not realize the way that can really be a break in the link that can oppress us as we move forward. It can be a big key in generational healing. And see, I like this. All the shadows of the past falling behind you. I mean, you may have some past energies that are still keeping an eye on you, but I feel like you're in a place where you've really learned some lessons from the experiences you've been through, collective, and you're now at a very interesting juncture where fortune is about to meet opportunity for you. Okay, so let go of the difficulties of the past. Let go of any situations where you feel like you were done wrong or where you're still carrying heaviness in your heart, and allow yourself to come into this present moment, because there is an opportunity that wants to come in for you. There is some special talent or ability, some skill that is starting to surface, may even be pointed out to you by another, supported by another, who brings you a fortunate opportunity. Okay. So now's the time to open up to the new. So let's get a general read of this energy. I don't know. Maybe we'll do a little bit of everything but the kitchen sink read. I kind of liked that last time. What do you all think? You give me your input, or if there's any decks, those of you who are real familiar with the channel, if there's any decks you want me to pull out specifically, I'll be happy to cater to you. This is for you, community here, and I'd love to let you come on in and be interactive in this read that we're doing here, right? So let's see. What is kind of the overarching theme, spirit, for the next 72 hours for the collective? What's the overarching theme for the collective over the next 72 hours, spirit? Ah, see, I like this. Ooh, I got sentience. See, so there's something that has been making you feel restricted or held back or just too self-contained. And I feel like you're really meant to free yourself from this sense of being bound by any sense of restriction or limitation or anything that's held all these gifts you have inside of you back, maybe in relation to something that went down in the past. But we see it is time for change. And when it's time for change, you got to rearrange, collective. So I do feel like something is really shifting here. And I feel like it will reach a crescendo with that full moon lunar eclipse that will be coming in Virgo on the 14th, the day after we slide into Mercury retrograde. And we already got Venus retrograde. So we're doing that sort of backslide and doing a little bit of revisiting. You may be digging up some stuff from your archaic past and sorting through things, looking at different patterns in relationships, different patterns. I feel like something's coming in around how you see yourself and what you feel your gifts, your talents, your abilities are. There might be something that you're ready to finally like represent, and you're going to take the risk to open up to this. Whatever this is, there is some link that ties back to the previous solar eclipse that we had that went down on the 2nd of October in the sign of Libra in 2024. There are some details that are coming in relation to this, okay? And we did have a big, beautiful harvest moon before that as well that was in the sign of Pisces. And there was a lot of mirroring energy that was going on at that time with the eclipses in 2024. And so we have to understand that there's a lot of reflection going on with this particular lunar eclipse that's coming in Virgo on the 14th. It's going to be a source of reflection, sort of like, well, that was then and this is now. You're going to see the energy you're embodying now. You're going to see your growth. You're going to recognize maybe ways that you're still sort of holding yourself back in an old energy pattern that relates to where you were back there. But if you really acknowledge what you've been through, what shifted inside of you, you'll realize that you're ready to expand into so much more. So there's some kind of change that's set in motion here. And I like this because on the bottom of the deck here, we have this big Empress energy. Trust yourself. So see, there's so much growth here and there's so much that wants to come to bloom in your life. And I'm noticing all these different animal totems there. I mean, we have Jaguar. Jaguar is about impeccable integrity. It's also about having the courage to step into the unknown, knowing that you got what it takes to face whatever you'll find there. There's a lot of messages coming in. We have the butterfly medicine. So this is about transformation that's under the way. We got snake here coming in with frog medicine. So there is an old skin you're ready to shed. You're ready to allow the scales to fall from your eyes to see things as they are. And also, this does signify that you've done a lot of spiritual cleansing, especially with the dragonfly coming in, a lot of spiritual cleansing around illusions. I'm sure you do love the Empress energy. Empress, Miss Jenna, and it's very befitting of you too. I have to say, I know you really well, and you've definitely been doing the work. I've seen you grow by leaps and bounds, and it's so cool just to see you so like empowered and really embodying your like big, bold, beautiful energy. So I'm excited to see what you pull out of the rabbit's hat. I think out of the rabbit's hat. Normally you pull a rabbit out of the hat. You're pulling something out of the rabbit's hat. That's sort of an interesting message coming in. I like the way our energy pings off each other, Miss Jenna. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe you were dealing with a tricky character, collective. And maybe it did sort of hold you back at one point, but I feel like there's some wild gift you're plucking out of that experience. You're pulling something off here, and it will bring joy. We got that hummingbird medicine up there. So this is really cool energy. I like this. It's time for change. Nothing is the way it was before. and it's time to turn things around. Ooh, I like that. That's good. That's good, Miss Jenna. All right, let's do a cut of the deck here and see what we got, and then we'll pull out the next card. Oh, yeah. Nobody's pulling your strings anymore. You're in charge of yourself, full agency of yourself. Hey, Boondock, good to see you. So this is about the road opening, right? Brand new journey here. You're in charge, and it's your ball. You know what games you don't want to play and what games you're ready to get in on. And I do feel like there is sort of this like spiritedness, sort of like tongue in cheek, throw caution to the wind, like I'm ready for something new. I feel like I've held myself back for too long according to other people's judgments and other people's ideas about what I'm capable of, or maybe even what they'll think about what I plan on doing. I don't care anymore. I'm ready to really just get out there, put myself out there. Yes, yes, yes. And it's just the beginning. And look, the butterfly medicine comes in again. So this is new birth, guarded vigilantly. All right. So we always have to be mindful of this. Anytime when we're getting ready, you know, we just got our wings. Now we're ready to take flight. We're ready to really open up to a new cycle. We have to be aware that it's precisely at that time, and especially in a retrograde cycle, where those doubts can creep up, or insecurities can surface, or people can be in opposition. And it sort of comes as a last little test, perhaps from a trickster. Oh, that's an interesting way to look at it. Maybe the ultimate trickster himself is sort of testing you. Are you sure? Are you sure you really want to leave this gilded cage? I think you do. I mean, it looks like you're ready to take flight here. This looks really good. I feel drawn to the super awesome future cards here to just get some more details about that. And then we'll dive into, maybe we'll do a little deeper digging here, see what we can get. And again, if you want me to pull out any specific deck, let me know. I'm happy to cater to you. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. I really appreciate you all. Yeah, see, this is when we need to be aware. Like, I do feel like there's some opportunity with the fox here to have like a very proud moment. And I don't mean that in the sense of like overly inflated ego. This isn't about distortion of pride, okay? This is about a healthy sense of pride, knowing like, wow, I've really come a long way. I overcame a lot. I've released a lot. I'm in this place now where I'm really ready to, you know, be who I am, stand up, represent who I am, let myself be seen, put myself out there. And this is exactly when we have to be aware of sabotaging influences that are sort of like hiding out. Now, sometimes these sabotaging influences can be in our subconscious. Other times it can be influences in our environment or different connections we have that could distort things for us. So this is what you really want to be aware of. Tarot of the Divine. You got it, Miss Jenna. We will bring that in, okay? So yes, it's that temperance energy. Ooh, that's interesting. So we got the cats in reverse. I like this. Ooh, the way that came out. So see, the cats always represent something sort of secretive, something that's been submerged or hidden. And with this is the aspect that has been keeping things from coming into a place of alignment for you, collective. But you see, it's in reverse. So it's not camouflaged anymore. You know the things that are disrupting you. Oh, wow. Okay, this whole side of the deck is in reverse. That's interesting. Let's make sure. Oh, these cards are all wonky here. Okay. So yeah, this is a good time for a systems check. This is a good time for a systems check and just sort of see like, where are things still amiss, or where does something feel not quite right? You know, where is your intuition highlighting to you that you need to have a second look, maybe uproot certain elements that could be tricky on the path ahead. Okay, let me make sure they're all up right now. This is what happens when you do a read where you just grab any deck available. Hey, good to see you. Oh, wow. I'm proud of you. I'm Dripsy. That's great. It's great that you are ready to head into a new chapter of your life. I know that's heavy too, at the same time, especially any of us who have dealt with the ending of a marriage know it's a huge radical shift, especially in our identity, right? Glad you're tuning in and listening right now. May sound strange that I say that's great, but to take that step, to actually take the step and to be moving forward with it, it may not feel like it right now. But as somebody who's personally gone through a divorce of my own, it really helps you come back to a place of rediscovering yourself and who you are at this stage of your life. But I remember when I was in that space many moons ago, my marriage ended back at the tail end of 2009. It was really destabilizing. That's an initiatory gateway of itself. So I think it's great that you're, moving forward. Um, Maybe that is going to free you up in more ways than is really evident right now. Because I know when you're in the thick of it, it can feel like a lot. It can feel like a lot. So I send you strength and support in relation to that. But I don't know that just for that to come in, it's like, that's great. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's going to open up something for you, like something so much more than was possible before. I don't know. There's some opportunity coming in here. It's that big Empress energy. That's what's showing up as the overarching theme. Yeah. Yeah, it is a lot. It is a lot. And like the people are giving I'm Dripsy some support there. But I don't know. I feel like it is a good change for you. It is scary. It is terrifying. It is. But you know what? It really is true that the things that we fear the most have the most potential on the other side of them. You know, that saying, everything we want is on the other side of fear is really true. And see, with the broken mirror here, there's something about that situation, whatever is being left behind, And of course, this is kind of coming in directly in relation to what you brought in there. I'm Gypsy, but for the collective as a whole, whatever is being left behind on the surface, it can appear that it's like a negative thing and it feels really scary because we get very comfortable in our roles. And I know that myself. I mean, I deal with that stuff all the time. But, there's something about that was a false reflection of who you are now. I like that. A lake house. That's awesome. You can do it. I'm Dripsy. I hope you do get that lake house. I think it'll work out very well for you. So it's important when we're letting things go that we look at it through that lens. It's like, yeah, this is rough. It's hard. Every time that we're in the process of becoming something new, there's first the unraveling, right? And that feels very destabilizing because we don't really know who we're becoming yet. And so it is that place of the unknown. But at the same time, whatever we're leaving behind, it no longer really is a true reflection of who we are. So it's like you became too big for that situation. And now you're meant to embrace something so much more. I love the idea of the lake house. I love the Great Lakes out here. They're so beautiful. And it's such like a peaceful place of reflection and serenity and calm. So yeah, I'm holding that for you. Yes. Yeah. See, I love this. This is empowering. That's empowering. You recognize it's not yours. It's not my fear. It's not my fear. I like that. See, you're already stepping into your power. I don't know. I just sense that. I don't know why. It was a very odd reaction for me to have to you saying that, but I did feel like wow, I felt like this big energy come in for you. Like everything is going to open up for you now. So, yeah, it's hard when you've been living in a place where you've been in a space of fear, right? That's a great limitation. And now so much more is possible. And all of these messages that come in from, the chat, they really do apply to the collective as a whole. And this is kind of the stuff we're moving through Venus retrograde. So yeah, it is. She had a true moment of alchemy there, true moment of alchemy there. So that's very empowering. I like that. I like that. Yeah. Yeah, I see that there was too much outside interference in that situation, too tense of an environment. Okay, let me go ahead and clear that out a little bit. All right. There may be some of that going on in the collective, though, in general. Like you may know that something really needs to change collective, but you might be feeling a sense of fear around it. And maybe it's time to really look at where is that fear coming from? Is that fear really mine? Or is that something that I have taken on? Yes, we are all in this crazy together. It is true. We're all mad here. But it's a tea party, or rather a coffee party. Mhm. Yeah, and everything is changing so much, right? Everything is so unpredictable right now. And we're all muddling through it the best that we can. So, give yourself some grace, collective too, as you go through changes, as you're releasing things and you're stepping into your potential. Don't be too hard on yourself, okay? It's okay to, feel the feels. Just don't get locked up and mired in them, Keep the energy moving, be present with what you feel, but don't let it be a source of limitation from stewing on things too long either. Just stay present. Present in the moment is always the way to go. Go with the flow, especially when you're going through a major life transition. You always weather it better when you can just be really present. Okay. So we got some kind of message coming in here that does bring a turn of fortune, which I like. It's something lucky. You may be surprised when you receive this message. It's not what you're expecting. It could be somebody that had judgment called on them that's like back around to try to kiss up. They might be offering you some opportunity. They might be, giving you some kind of gift. It is somebody you dealt with before. You never thought this person would circle back around. It's a little bit shocking. It might shake things up a little bit, but I don't know. I do feel like you had some magical moments with this person. But at some point, you did decide that it was better to just sort of like keep the memories and move forward. Lilies do represent having a fondness for something related to the past, but also knowing it's time to let it go. But I do see this energy like kind of like resurfacing. There's some kiss up energy here. Okay. So be prepared for this. 'Tis the season with Venus retrograde. This energy is going to be with us for a minute. So do be prepared. What do we got here? Ooh, yeah. Yeah, I see. Isn't that interesting? Because the cats came out at first in reverse. Now they're upright. So I think that whatever this is that's coming around, it has strings attached. Notice how there's 3 in both of these scenarios. Okay. Somebody might sort of put it forward to you like, hey, I can do this for you. I can give you this opportunity. They may dress it up. It may sound really good, but it's sort of like they're going to be the ones on the take. And if this is a situation where somebody was sort of fly by night, where they were a little unpredictable, here today, gone tomorrow. Now they're, trying to sell you on some vision that, oh, everything's changed, everything's different now. I'm in it to win it with you. No, they'll ghost the scene again. It's just kind of their nature. This person has issues with this. I feel like whoever this character is, they're in a place where they're feeling a little destabilized right now. And maybe you've always been kind of an anchor for this person. maybe you've been able to ground them out or hold things down for them, or they always come to you whenever they feel really uprooted or things get a little messy in their life, and then you handle things for them. But I feel like this is the time. We saw the energy that came in. It was so solid. It was so solid. You've already been aware of what's been operating on the subconscious and what kind of situations sort of put you at a deficit, put you in a position where you're having to clean up other people's messes or take on things that are not yours to hold. And I do feel like you got somebody coming around here that's going to try to kiss up and get you roped into some iron scheme. Okay. It may seem like a good opportunity on the surface. There could be money involved. Okay. This could be somebody too that maybe has more status or they're in a better financial position. They may present you with something that you feel like, oh, I could really use that. And so you might be tempted. But I do feel like you need to be aware that there's other energies that are sort of hiding out in the shadows, concealed in relation to this situation. And if you think something smells off, it does. Something is off in this situation. There's a little sneaky energy going on here. I don't like the vibe of it. I think you could, take on too much, help somebody out here, and then you're the one who could be left sort of holding the bag and having to deal with the mess that's left behind. I don't like that energy for you, collective. Yeah. I mean, I do feel like at one point, and it's the 8th today, so here we go. I do feel like at one point you had a lot of resonance with this person. There felt like there was some kind of alignment here, but I do feel like something's been a bit too much of an entrenched karmic loop, and you've digested something over and over and over again. And it really is in your best interest to sort of like go your own way when this comes around. 36 breaks down to 9. This is something that may come to a head with that Virgo full moon that's coming in. And you might digest it a little bit, okay? It might be something you sort of consider for a while. I feel that because I do feel like you felt a certain connection with this person. But I think if you open up to this, you could be on this like repetitive infinity loop here as well. It could also be something that could tie you up in knots. And again, it's like there's 3 people attached, and you notice there's 4 knots, 1 in each corner here. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like it sort of ties your fate and fortune to other people that you don't necessarily want to be attached to here. And you are being advised to kind of work with that hermit energy, exercise your wisdom, go your own way. You're going to be better off. You'll actually progress a lot faster than if you let this in. Let me do a cut the deck here. See what we got. Yeah, see? Do your own thing here. Look at it. There's the 4. Wow. Okay, there's the 4 kind of hanging out. Real sort of secretive, super sleuthy energy, wanting to know what you're up to. What's up? What's up with you over there? You look like you're chilling and we're a little stressed out. Figure out what's going on with them. No, just, keep it to yourself. Keep your cool. Just don't give up anything that's sort of going to reveal your hand at this time either. I don't like that that's the way things have become, but it does seem like it is the way it is these days, as so many people are working an angle. And I feel like it's just really important that things that are really dear to you, close to you, personal to you, you really preserve those things and be aware of who you share information with. And certainly if something's feeling a little sus here, and I think it will to you, even more reason to just sort of like keep to yourself around this. You may also feel like you want more time to yourself as well. And there's nothing wrong with that. This might make certain people a little suspicious who've had a lot of access to you. Again, I feel like there's something hatching here for you. It did come in as like some special talent or some creativity, something that's awakening in you, or perhaps something that's being pointed out to you. And there might be people sort of wondering what you're up to here, but I think you need to just kind of keep this to yourself. Keep pursuing this on your own, you know. Be polite. You don't need to stir up any sort of drama around this, you know. But there is a polite way to sort of just veer people away from poking into your business too much. Trust me, I know. I know. You got some wish fulfillment coming in here. You see what I mean? Like things are just about to start cooking for you. And I feel like it has everything to do with the fact that you've already uprooted certain undermining elements and you've also recognized ways that you've held yourself back. So don't put yourself in a position now where you could let people in that could really take advantage of. I'm hearing your kindness, okay? So maybe people know that you have like a real generous spirit or you have a kind heart. And a lot of times when somebody's kind or they got a good heart, people will think that they can take advantage of them, but they shouldn't take your kindness for weakness, because what I see here is a lot of growth and a lot of strength that has overcome quite a few challenges, okay? So yes, all right, Tarot of the Divine. Ted agrees with that. Do you need to go outside, Teddy? You need to go outside and go potty? Yeah? Hold on a minute. Here you go, baby. Go ahead. It's actually a beautiful sunny day out here today, which is a nice change. We haven't had that in a while. I haven't pulled out this deck in a while. So it'll be interesting to see. I have no idea what we're going to find on the bottom of the deck there, but I'm sure since you brought it in, Miss Jenna, it's going to be pertinent to what we're talking about here. Do you want to go out or not, hon? He can't make up his mind. Yeah, that might be, you know, a little bit of the energy of the collective. Do I want to let this in or do I want to shut the door on it? You know, do I do this or do I do that? Things are kind of in flux. Oh, yep, there's that Knight of Swords. That's interesting. That came in on the download last night for Capricorn. The Knight of Swords rushing in, has some communication coming in very swiftly, very decisively. With the Venus energy, sometimes the Knight of Swords, it can be like a declaration of love, a sudden show of emotion, suddenly where somebody was really tight-lipped, they didn't have anything to express, now it's just all spilling out of them, but it comes very suddenly. Okay, Ted, you need to lay down, Bubba. Lay down. You want a cookie? Hold on a minute here. Here you go. All right. Okay. Be a good boy. All right. So somebody's coming towards you very quickly. This is like also a message coming at you very fast, very swiftly, unexpectedly. It doesn't have to be romantically, but I did get that hit. So this could be somebody that there was some kind of flirtation with in the past or interested in the past on that level, or they felt that way about you, right? And again, it's Venus retrograde, so this kind of stuff's going to be coming around the bend. Ted keeps saying yes to that, so for a lot of you, that's going to be what it is. You picked the Jack, Miss Jenna. Just be prepared. You might get some unexpected communication there. Teddy. Okay, lay down, baby. Come on. He's really like agitated. That's not like him. He's normally not like that agitated. So I don't know what's going on with that. There might be something about this person's energy that's like that. Like maybe they're really agitated. They might be very anxious, right? That might be why they're coming toward you. Again, just be aware of why somebody's approaching you. Ted, what do you need to do? What do you need to do, baby? Do you need to go outside? Oh my gosh. Okay, go outside. Go outside. Go. Go. You're dealing with a character like this. They don't know if they want in or out. One moment they're on, next minute they're off, you know? Yeah, interesting. And then we got Queen of Coins, bottom of the deck there coming in, okay? They may come in bearing some kind of opportunity for advancement. They may come in bringing some kind of offer. Ted, what do you want to do? You're being kind of disruptive. Hold on a minute. I'm going to let Ted out into the rest of the house here. Just a second. Come on, Bubba. Come on. All right. I don't know. He might try to come back in again. He's just like, he is. He's trying to barge his way in. Ted. Wow, dude. Get in here. Come on. Lay down. That's enough. You all know. You all know. You've seen me have Ted in for these reads for how long now? This is the third year of BroadCoven. Have you ever seen Ted act like that? That's this energy. That's this energy. It's chaotic. It can't make up its mind. It's anxious. 1 minute it wants in, the next minute it's on the go. This is the type of character that you're dealing with here, okay? This person comes with other energies attached. They come forward acting like they're bringing you some kind of solid opportunity here. It looks good. It looks like it could take you places, or it looks like it could be the very thing you've been waiting for. Ultimately, it makes a mess of things. It's disruptive. So again, I don't ever think it's wise to make any kind of like relationship decisions, anything like that, when you're in the middle of a retrograde cycle. It's always best to just sort of take in what comes towards you, you know, be open to what comes towards you, you know, have those communications, but I wouldn't make any decisions because this energy, whatever's coming towards you, is super unstable. Okay, that's what I got. And it will destabilize you. You need to chill out, okay? You need to chill out if you're going to be in here. You know, I don't know what's bugging you. He's picking up some energy. He only gets like that if he's picking something up. So he's picking up some energy that he's not liking. It's like an irritant to him. All right. Yeah, now he's grumbling. All right, that's wild. It's live, folks. Anything can happen. Ted, lay down. Lay down. Stay. Thank you for the download. Appreciate it. But you got to chill out, man. Okay. There's no business like show business. It's like anything can happen when you're live, man. And you got to just roll with it. Ted, honey, baby. I don't know what is going on with you, but you're acting a little crazy right now. Okay. All right. So yeah, that's the energy. I personally wouldn't want that energy coming into my sphere. All right. So be aware of that. Be aware of that. This is like a tricky energy here. All right. And what's the cost of opening up this road with the Fool here? You know, Little Mermaid. Little Mermaid, oh, she wanted Prince Eric. She wanted Prince Eric so badly. She wanted to know what it would be like to step into that world, so much so that she let Ursula steal her voice from her, right? Isn't that interesting? Because we had that energy come out here, right? Look at old Ursula here, would love to just gain control and pull up the anchor on you. See, this person comes with others attached. I don't like it. And it causes you to have to sacrifice something that is a gift that's awakening in you. And it could just be the gift of a certain time you've arrived at in your life that's meant to align you with your destiny, with your North Node potential here. So be aware of this. All right, let's go ahead and do a round of these here, see what we got. That's pretty wild. I've never had Ted do that in a live, ever. Not even when I've been recording something. That was a really dramatic show he put on there, okay? This person's drama. They're not, whoever they are, whoever you're hearing from here, it's almost like they're reaching out to you in a sense of desperation, okay? Ooh, okay. See, I mean, Ted is such a good fetch, man. He reads energy so well. Yeah, let's see. It's like this person will want you to move forward with them very quickly here, you know, with the Chariot energy. But I feel like, again, here's the other two. There's something that you sacrifice if you head in this direction. And it's too much. Like, what's lost, what you have to sacrifice is way too much. I really feel that, collective. You need to be careful about this. Take your time. And if somebody is really putting on the heat and saying, no, you have to jump on this opportunity now or it's no go, well, fine. Bye. You know, give the opportunity to somebody else then, right? I don't like that energy. You shouldn't invest in this. Okay. Any more details about this? This deck really brought out some wild energy with it. One more round of this, and then I think I'm going to get a different deck. I feel really tempted to pull out my my Imps and Angels deck, just with that energy that came in, so we can get a little clearer read about what's up with this character coming around. Because it's giving me that sort of energy signature. Oh, yeah, look at that. It's operating in the shadows. It wants to bring you a tower. It wants to cause heartache. It wants to cause some kind of separation. I feel like separation from your path forward. That's what it feels like. I don't know. I just got this sense that you're just at this point where you're finally like on the right path. Things are lining up for you. And this person will sever you from that path. There's a lot that will be lost here. Ooh, yeah, this is the trickster. Look at it. It's the coyote medicine, smoke and mirrors, 7 of swords. Be on the lookout for this. Don't trust this. Do not trust this energy. Don't trust this energy because it definitely has designs here and they are nefarious, all right? Okay, I'm pulling out the Angels and Imps here because I just really feel like we need to figure out what's going on with this. Bottom of the deck, King of Swords reveals knowledge of forthcoming battles. Ooh, yeah, see? You need to be really decisive here. You need to be really decisive. Your cutoff game needs to be strong. It's really time, collective, to stop entertaining stuff that feels sus to you. If it doesn't feel right, it's not right. Don't make room for it. Don't even entertain it. If it puts you in a position where you feel like you're not sure if you can trust something, that's not something you should let into your spirit. It's really important that you trust yourself at this time. Remember, that's the message that came out. with that Empress energy. Trust yourself. The last coffee talk in tarot we brought in, we were talking about those things that we felt eluded us, right? The opportunities that passed us by, or things that didn't work out the way that we were hoping they would. And when we were looking at that energy, we talked about coming up with just a word or a few words that sort of captures the essence of what do we feel like we missed out on, rather than attaching those things to a specific person or a specific situation. What was the thing? What was the very essence that we feel like eluded us in those situations? And maybe you did that, maybe you didn't. If you didn't do that, let's just touch on that briefly, because I did say we'd sort of follow up on that, okay? So let's say you had something that felt like a missed opportunity, something just slipped out of your hands and you've had a hard time making peace with that. This could be anything. It could be a job you really wanted that, you know, went to somebody else, or it could be some kind of opportunity for advancement that, you know, you were passed by on. It could be a lover that chose to go and, you know, enter into a relationship with a different person. Whatever it was, take the person, the situation out of it, and come up with no more than 5 words that describe the essence of what you feel like you lost there, what you missed out on, okay? So, you know, that could be love, that could be recognition, that could be happiness, whatever it is, okay? And I do encourage you to take a little time to reflect on it, really get down to the heart of the matter, so you can be really clear about what's sort of operating there and what's keeping you in this place of feeling like you're lacking something, or you missed out on something that should have gone to you, okay? From your current vantage point. And once you get really clear on that, now we're going to take it the next step further, because I said we'd take it the next step further and do something that could kind of lead us up to the full moon, all right? And we'll bring something in with the next Coffee Talk in Tarot, where we'll kind of keep building on this as a community, okay? That way we're all sort of focusing on this energy together and supporting each other in this work. So each of those words that you come up with, now I want you to think of what is the antithesis of that word. So for instance, if you look at recognition, the opposite of that word would be like ignored, okay? All right, just as an example. Or if you felt like it would have signaled success if you would have gotten that opportunity, the opposite of that energy would be failure, okay? So write down the antithesis of the other words you wrote down that symbolized what you feel like you missed out on, okay? And look at what the opposite energy is. Then, leading up to the full moon, and well, the next time we meet, which will probably be pretty close to the full moon, I think, use each of those words. Just take one word a day, okay? Don't take more than one word a day. Really, like, sit with each of the words. Take the word that's the opposite, like ignored or failure, and walk with that word for the day, all right? Notice your experiences. Use it as a source of reflection. What connections do you have in your life that evoke that feeling in you presently? What situations do you have going on presently in your life that evoke that same feeling? And start looking at where you need to maybe clear some more stuff out that could still be holding you back. Or if it's just a feeling, a sense you have in yourself, what situations evoke that feeling in you? And then try to understand, is that coming from a certain projection, something I've taken on, something that is embedded in my belief system that I need to shift and maybe see in a new way? Because also we have to remember that anything that we're experiencing externally has its roots in what's going on in us internally. And while you've looked at what you feel like you've missed out on, you have to understand what's keeping you in the pattern of the opposite. Makes sense? Because we are working with like a mirroring energy here. So if you are noticing that there's a certain, for example, person in your life that constantly makes you feel ignored, you might want to question that connection, or you might want to consider showing up in that connection in a new way to see if you can shift that dynamic. Now, that may mean opening up a difficult conversation, opening up a difficult communication. Well, what if somebody is not willing to talk to you? Well, then you need to accept that, right? And then you have to take it to the next level. Well, why is it so important to me to have somebody entertain my presence that is outright making it clear that they have no desire to listen to what I have to say? All right. It can take you really deep when you use one word at a time and understand the connecting points. Like, well, where does that come from? Did I experience a dynamic like that as a kid when I was growing up? Have I felt like this before at other times in my life? Usually you'll spot patterns. This information will be helpful as we move up to the eclipse energy. Some people feel like it's not a good time to do any kind of like manifestation work with eclipse energy. I totally disagree. I feel like eclipses are excellent for eclipsing things out of our lives, for releasing things that are, no longer of use, that have served their purpose, or that are outright not working in our favor, working against us, or limiting us in some way. Okay. So I would say that's the next step. I'll build on it more with the next coffee talk and tarot, and maybe bring something that you can do, a very like simple kind of personal ritual you can create around this to allow you to really let all that stuff go so you can step into the truth of who you are now. But we definitely got some tricky stuff on the scene. And it's also true that every time before you're really about to hit the mark or have some kind of success or have some kind of development in your life that takes you to the next level, all of the tricky influences will come around to test your mettle. It's just the way it is. Because in order to step into that new potential, you can't take certain aspects of yourself that have held you back in the past with you, right? You have to be able to discard those things. And so then we also have to look at the piece of self-forgiveness as well, not being hard on ourselves, but understanding that really we are all products of our environment, our conditional upbringing, everything that has sort of influenced us up to this point, right? But awareness is the first step in sort of freeing ourselves from repetitive cycles, because it really is true that what is unconscious does rule over us. It does prevent us from being able to transform our lives. But once you can take those sort of sabotaging elements and you can bring them up to the surface, you stop projecting them onto other people as well. And you start understanding the situations where you are facing challenges a little bit differently. You start understanding that, oh, I keep drawing these same kind of people or these same kind of situations because they're reflecting to me this subconscious quality I have in myself, this projection I've taken on, or whatever it may be, that I've been too afraid to look at, or I've been unwilling to unpack. And so I have this person shows up on my path. They appear as a nemesis, but they come to me as a teacher to act as a mirror and illuminate this for me so I can finally like free myself of this pattern. Okay. So I really recommend you do that. Just journey with the opposite of those words, okay, that you came up with when we first dove into this energy, the last coffee talk and tarot we did. And see what you can sort of discover that's operating subconsciously or in your environment that is related to the opposite of those words. Then you'll know where you have some cleanup work to do. And also where to question yourself, because if something is evoking a feeling of failure or a feeling of being ignored or a feeling of insecurity, whatever the opposite words are, right? Then you really have to ask yourself, why do I keep holding space for that? What's going on there? And I like this kind of reflection because I think too often, and especially we see it a lot in the tarot community, you get people pointing fingers. It's like the blame game. Well, it's because of them. If they didn't do this, then I wouldn't be in this position. But we always have a choice. And it's only when you can really recognize that, yeah, other people will do what they do. You can't control what other people do, but you always have a choice what you allow in your sphere, what you tolerate, what you put up with. And in fact, what you tolerate does sort of become the rule of thumb. It does become the very thing that ends up being your limitation. But when you recognize, no, that really doesn't work for me, and you start drawing those lines in the sand and you start recognizing that you're ready to step into something more, that you don't want to entertain these kind of things anymore, then it finally allows whatever has been sort of hidden within you that's been running that show to come up and out, so you can let it go and unburden yourself from that and move forward more freely, right? Bottom of the deck energy, yeah, Four of Swords. Let it go. Let it go. That gives you the Spear of Lu. This is what gives you movement forward in your life. It's also what allows you to take action in an empowered direction that actually has you holding the power in your hands instead of playing the blame game and giving away your power to other people and sort of letting them have too much authority over the way your life is rolled out. No, you get to make the choices about what you let in, about what is acceptable to you, about what is not. All right. This is really important here. All right. There also might be something that you want to shift about your stance as well that you want to look at. You might have been fending off so much in your life that you've kind of gotten yourself in this position, collective, where you almost are automatically on the defense. It can make you come off like a soldier, like you're prepared for battle. And we've talked about this many, many times. Where you prepare for battle, you'll find battle. Okay, so this is something to be very aware of here. And there's a big yes to that energy with the Hierophant coming on here. But we also have to be aware that there are sabotaging elements that could hook us in. And now's the time to sort of hook those things up and cast them away. Because I do find here what's coming in is that you could find too much familiarity, too much willingness to be welcoming to what actually works against you, what actually sabotages you here. And it's time for you really to transform these elements that have been getting you caught up here. And, I know that there are people who do really rotten things. I'm not denying that. I mean, we've all dealt with that at one time or another. But we can really allow people to have power over us by allowing them to have that kind of authority over our lives. If you know that something doesn't feel right to you, or if you know that you got a connection that seems to be working against you, or you don't feel respected in that connection, why continue to entertain it? You can't make somebody see your value. And really, being valued starts with you valuing yourself. This piece is so important. And with the 10 of Swords here, it is high time to bring something to a close. Notice that bird's coming in with the truth there, with Fragarok. And I like it. The bird also has that sword pulled from its sheath. So I do feel like you're about to get some answers here. And whatever has been working against you, whatever has been bringing repeated towers into your life, all of that is about to come down, because now you're going to start to align yourself with good familiars. But it starts by being good to yourself and recognizing that you're the one who gets to make these choices. Okay? I also see where you are working with some really nasty people that are bringing some problems your way, that are trying to create messes or disruption in your life, as Ted so brilliantly exemplified there for all of us to help us really understand this energy. Uh, any of their thoughts or desires to tear down what you've been building here are going to be destroyed. So this is definitely something that you really are already on the other side of, but you could get hooked up in it again. And I feel like that has everything to do with a matter of pride, like trying to reclaim what you felt was a lost opportunity, even though you know it's not something that's supportive of you or good for you, but maybe you just like the way it looks. Or maybe you feel like, well, that'll show that person. They thought they got one over on me, but see, I'm the one who wins in the end. We got to be aware of these kind of energies in play. You got to be careful of that stuff, okay? Because that's the stuff that can really trip you up. Right? Competitive mindset can be very problematic. The only person you should ever be competing with is yourself, to continue to grow and evolve and be a better version of yourself than you were yesterday, okay? Don't get distracted by the nonsense that runs so rampant in our society about always trying to edge somebody else out. I love it. See, Queen of Wands energy. And this also came out again. It came out again in the collective read that was the Capricorn download that came in last night. And this is the Queen of Wands. This is you holding that power. It says you got divine power right now that's in your hands, and it can guard you against mental troubles. What causes mental troubles? When we don't really trust our intuition, when we don't trust what the energy is telling us, and instead we just sort of throw caution to the wind because, yeah, I mean, the Queen of Wands can be a very competitive energy. It can be, right? It can be that kind of energy. But this is about using your fire wisely, right? To blaze a trail forward, right? Not to sort of showboat here. That can get you caught up. And there is this piece here about, you know, a little bit of concealment. There's protection and concealment right now as you work on things that are dear to your heart. So I do feel like there is something that you're wanting to bring to fruition in your life, but you could sabotage it by letting certain people in that shouldn't be let into this particular sphere here. Certainly people that have caught you up before, like, you know, how many times does it have to happen before you recognize that this person isn't for you, they're against you, or that this situation isn't a match, okay? These aspects are important. I'm going to do a kind of a deck here. I feel like this is good. I love it. Here comes the miraculous chalice. We do have an Ace of Cups coming in here. And yes, an Ace of Cups, that's about you pouring into yourself first, right? There's rejuvenation coming in here. And whatever new cycle is starting for you now, it's got longevity, all right? So this is not going to be just a little bit to quench your thirst. This is going to be something that's going to be very fulfilling for you. And it's the start of you sort of like really embracing yourself, you know, knowing your worth, loving up on yourself. It's also the start of some kind of gifts awakening in you, some kind of creativity awakening in you, a special talent you have, a new inspiration you have that you're actually really on board with, and that fills your heart with a sense of hope. This is something you should nourish. And I like it. With that, we got the Magician, you see? So you're using that wand, you're using that power in your hands to transform your life. You're using your spiritual wisdom to activate your magic. And this is going to help you gain not only wisdom, but it will also help you discover hidden secrets. And I feel these hidden secrets are these certain talents you have, these certain gifts you have, these certain things that are awakening in you that you're actually meant to activate on your path at this time. It's very empowering. This is really good, solid energy here, okay? So yes, move forward. Don't get caught up in the past. And there was a download that came in on that Capricorn collective read that I did last night. That was from back in June last year when we were in middle of eclipse season, June 19th. And it was a 3 keys reading. It was the Griffin, the Wizard, and the Portal. And I went back and I listened to that read and I was totally blown away. And I did pin in the comments sort of my reflections on it. And it totally ties into Capricorn. So it makes sense that that came back around. In fact, that read came in at the time that we were going through the Capricorn mirrored moons. Remember that? So we're having sort of a full coming around the bend, a full turning of the wheels, so to speak, in relation to that energy with what's coming up with the Virgo full moon lunar eclipse here. Also, there is at the end of that read, the Griffin, the Wizard, and the Portal. And I did put it on the post board here on the channel so you can easily access it. There is a pick a reality tunnel section at the end, okay? And so there's an opportunity for you to really find out what gateway of initiation are you going to be entering into. And I went ahead and on that read, not only did I pin the comment with my reflections on it, but I also put the links to each of those individual reads associated with those 3 reality tunnels so you can go and see what's activating for you right now with this full moon lunar eclipse that's coming up in Virgo on the 14th, because that read is activating now. So if you haven't dropped in with all that, I really encourage you to. If you didn't drop in on the Capricorn read, it really is for the collective. You should. It's going to give you so much information. And then following up on that other read, it's going to just expand on it. And then you'll get to go to your personal reality tunnel read as well. So that was a major download that came in. It really threw off my schedule for this week because I wanted to get to all the bonus readings this week. I wanted to finish all of these lunar cycle reads this week. It's just not going to happen. It was very unexpected, but there's a lot of information there for everybody. And we'll make sure we get all of those reads done. We only have 2 more signs to do, Aquarius and Pisces. Pisces, we opened up with, getting their solar return read in. So I like having a little space there for Pisces. So some new messages and information can come in for them anyway. So we'll get Pisces and Aquarius taken care of next week for those reads, just so you all know that are looking out for those. And I'll have to get the bonus reads in next week as well. I was hoping to get it done this week, but things just ended up taking on a rhythm and a flow of their own, and I had to go with it. Both Libra and Capricorn downloads were also collective downloads. So there's something for all of you there. So do tune into them because I think you'll find some helpful information, okay? And before I sign off here, anybody in the room, do you have any questions you want to ask? Or if you'd like, I can pull a card for you if you have a specific question. I'm going to give you a moment to do that while I kind of tidy this up here. That was a dramatic, live with Ted there. I'm really like, whoa, Ted really was like, now he's like sleeping. Isn't that weird? He's like crashed out now, but he like went a little crazy there for a minute. So yeah, be aware of this energy. This energy that wants to try to come around at this time is very disruptive. You don't have anything. Okay. All right. I don't think there is anything else that wants to come in, but I did want to give the opportunity for those who had any personal questions to get a chance to ask a personal question, but it looks like nobody's got anything this round, which is okay. It's okay. It's all good. Maybe you got everything you needed. All right, y'all. Well, I hope that you have a wonderful weekend, and I enjoy dropping in with you. And we'll drop in next week as well. And I imagine that'll be pretty close. Actually, I'll probably be just after. I might have to do the coffee talk and tarot on a different day next week. Today's the 8th, the 9th, Monday's the 10th, Tuesday's the 11th, Wednesday's the 12th, Friday. Okay, I think I'm going to do the coffee talk and tarot on Friday next week so that it can land. It can land on full moon. And then we'll bring in the continuation of what we've been working with here as far as coming up with those words and sort of building on the energy. Okay, so no Saturday next week. It'll be going down on Friday. And I may move those coffee talk and tarots from time to time just so they fit with whatever the flow is, and also the lunar cycles. I'm really trying to align things more with the lunar cycles here because I think it's very helpful just for moving with like the natural rhythm and flow. All right. Okay, so be on the lookout for that. Friday next week. Again, coffee talk and tarots are always going to be subscriber only chats. And the reason I have it set up like that is I want to do this as a way to just express gratitude to the community, those who support the channel. Also, I open up the possibility for 5 personal questions, not for all for one person, but for 5 different people. And I want those spots for a free personal read to go to people who are subscribed to the channel and supporting the channel, because that just feels like that feels right to me. All right. Otherwise, I do lives where I don't have, subscriber only chats, but I just wanted to make that clear for maybe people that are tuning in that aren't familiar with me at all. And this is your first time. If so, hi, nice to meet you. And hopefully you'll give a subscribe and hang out. It'd be nice to build community. That's what I'm looking to do here. All right. Have a wonderful weekend. Take care. And thanks for riding that out. Ted is totally chilling out now. He's fast asleep. So I think get tuckered Ted out. Be aware of that energy, man. I wouldn't take it on. I know I won't. All right. Take care.